Greetings, this is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Living One. There is none like the perpetual force, the singularity, the all, the almighty, the all you can see and all you cannot see, the visible and invisible, the perpetual, ongoing, always in motion, Supreme Creator, the Living One. There is none like the one that creates all things, to his power and glory alone. So yesterday I started this lesson and I forgot to turn the camera on, and I had been rambling on for about 20 minutes, and I looked down and I saw the camera wasn't running. So I had to go back and watch the video and see exactly where it was that I had left off. And I had left off about pro-choice, and I was talking about the women saying that it's their body, their choice. I was talking about originally when they started abortion clinics, they placed them in prominently black neighborhoods. All right. The truth of abortion clinics was an attack again on the black people in prominently where they put these buildings, these abortion clinics back in the day. So what happened is it backfired. I had been reading to hear, and this is what had got me set off. Now, I would like people to know, if you take a look here. I did this the other day, and I went through all these videos. Now they have another one up here. But you can clearly see now that these are prominently white folks, okay? If you go back and you look at my video yesterday, they didn't have any. They've just added these pictures. Go back and look, man, because I scrolled through all these pictures the other day with you guys because I was trying to make my point that the abortion clinics and everything was a war on black people originally. And then it backfired on the Gentile. And then this was the results of them placing abortion clinics inside the prominently black neighborhoods. It turned around and backfired them, and now you got white, disgruntled, misinformed, uneducated, lack of common sense, no knowledge, ignorant, people who walk in darkness, wear scales on their eyes. They're all prominently white today. You don't see Black Lives Matter out there screaming about this. Not that I support Black Lives Matter, but my point is if Black Lives Matter so much, why wouldn't this be more of an interracial mixed group of people? As you can clearly see, I'm not lying when I say prominently white people. It's amazing. Go and watch my last video. These pictures were not up. Now they got black people up front. Well, there was just this one. There was just this one yesterday, and anybody who watched my video can confirm that from yesterday. Okay? So now you have this woman here. She wasn't in the mix yesterday when I did my video. And this woman here wasn't in there yesterday when I did my video. You see, because this is a changing script. The script plays to you. Okay? The entire world that we live on is a stage, and everybody on it are players. So there's a war going on, and you have black people that are saying that the white man is their enemy, and then you have white people that are saying that they're the chosen children of God, which is an ongoing, continual war, because it says that the sword shall never leave Israel. That's crazy, right? Right here, 2 Samuel 12:10. Which tells us, now, therefore, the sword will never depart from your house, Israel, because you have despised me and have taken a wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your own. This is when David sent Uriah out on the front lines to get killed. And this is why the other guy in the very next chapter is calling him a murderer and everything, and throwing stones at the guards. And the one guard wants to what? He wants to cut off his head. Then Abishai, son of Zeruiah, said to the king, why should this dead dog, why is he calling him a dead dog? Because when you're born into this plane of existence, you become the walking dead. We are all dead. The flesh is dead. Don't you get it? The flesh is birthed into this place, and then it dies. And then what's left is your essence, your soul, your spirit. Where it goes, that's on you. So, you can clearly see that these groups, these gangs, and that's what they are. These are gangs, okay? This is a hive of people that work for the system. Oh, dear goodness gracious. Now they got a whole realm of black women. Okay? Understand that these women here, more than likely, they're not Israelites. But I still, my point is case is made. Because yesterday when I was flipping through all these pictures, I was saying, look, you don't see anybody black out there. You don't see them out there. Why? Why do the people call the white man the devil? They do. Ezekiel chapter 31 verse 3 Bible Hub. Look at the Assyrian, a cedar in Lebanon, with beautiful branches that shaded the forest. It's towered on high, its tops among the boughs. King James Bible. Behold Satan. Satan is the Assyrian. With was a cedar. A cedar is, what is a cedar? A cedar is a tree. So Satan is the tree of knowledge of good and evil with fair branches. Satan was a white man, folks. Satan in the flesh are the white race. I'm white. I'm a Gentile. Look how you live your life. All that exists, you completely walk opposite of what we're being told to do inside Scripture. The Scripture gives us 10 commandments. That's all I try to live by is those 10 commandments. You know, I try to keep the spirit of truth on my heart all the time. Seems lately, though, honestly, I've been lacking. Like this presence of evil is around me. It's just like trying to harvest and feed off of my soul. So, with his shadowing shroud, and the shadowing shroud is his white skin suit. Now, there's a story of Jacob, and Jacob is supposed to be an Israelite, and the Israelites in this story of Jacob are creating the creators of the white race. They did a strain, took a strain. They realized that that there was a strain, a DNA strain that was a brown strain, as Farrakhan talks about it. I think that's his name. Farrakhan talks about Jacob, how Jacob learned about the DNA, and this is why I say that everything that we're doing today isn't new technology. Science will lead you to believe that their science today is more advanced than the science back then in the ancient days. And I'm telling you that the science today that they have doesn't even come close or compare to the science that these people have to create time travel and wormholes and portals to travel through. So Satan is a man with white skin and a shadowing shroud, and the shadowing shroud is the skin suit, and of high stature, because everybody on this plane of existence is worshiping the creature more than the creator. And I keep trying to tell people that Jesus is the creature. I've been showing you guys for some time now that This depiction is Jesus coming out of CERN. Okay, so what I'm saying is from the story of Jacob, that they're the ones that created the non-melanated man, the white man, through their strain of their DNA. And the story is that they created evil intentionally to help humans arise to their highest spiritual selves. So when I say that the supreme point of singularity creates both good and evil, which is the author of life that does all things, then, and he's the one that controls both good and evil. Basically, if there's only one supreme spirit, guys, then we're all just fish in his sea. We're all just pawns on the chessboard. It's simply the supreme spirit chatting with himself. And if you're good and righteous, then you're around good and righteous people, man. And if you're being shitty, then you're going to get shit on. It's just that simple. So when it says the Assyrian is a cedar in Lebanon, they're literally talking about the Gentile race. Okay, these people here are the same ones that'll stand in the streets and scream about, white lives matter. They're just, it never ends, folks. I'm showing you, and this is intentionally designed, and I'm proving to you that there are prominently white people in this. Because the white people are the hive, remember? They're trying to get you to have an abortion. And my point in all of this is that if a parent rapes their own child, an uncle rapes a niece, or even a father sodomizes its own child, rapes their children, commits these acts of abomination upon their own blood, impregnates their daughters, then I believe I don't believe, I feel, I should say. I don't believe anything anymore. I don't have a belief system and I don't believe, but I feel that if somebody does that, they should be beat within an inch of their life. I think that the community should take care of it. Not the police department, not anybody, just straight up the community deal with it. And if the piggies want to stick their nose in the business like piggies like to do, then the community should hand the piggies their asses. We don't need police to police us. All we need is a community of people that are pissed off enough to take back their cities, their towns, and say we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to allow rapists to continue on doing their dirty deeds on this system. We're going to beat them, and they're going to know then that what they did is wrong. Not 3 hots in a cot in a jail and sit around and bullshit with all your friends and play cards, and 2 years later you're out and you're already getting ready to do it again. Yeah. So I'm telling you, if the community beat the shit out of somebody, I doubt seriously that they'd come to your community again. I'm not saying they wouldn't do it again, but they wouldn't do it in your community again. And the entire thing, bro, is you just can't kill the person, because 2 wrongs doesn't make a right. It's wrong for a parent to impregnate their child or do all the evil things that I just mentioned and not be punished for it. If he was punished for it, he wouldn't do it again. Believe me. It just wouldn't happen. So that's where I was at when I was yakking for about 10 or 15 minutes on this subject, and I forgot where I was at. And it all has to deal with cutting off the head. Do you remember the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson? And he's talking to his children and he's saying, do you know who the highest ranking officers are out there, and then they look down there and they nod to their dad. They say, yeah. He said, and the dad tells them what? He says, start at the captain and work down to the lieutenants, the ones that are given direction. You cut off the head. You cut off the person that they're waiting for direction, because remember, these are robotic people. If they don't have somebody to guide them and direct them, then their brains are scrambled. So this is what has to happen with the government. Okay? The government is the head. The government is the head of this realm. It's a hive. The United Nations is a hive. These people are all in it together. It should have proved to you that they're all in it together when they started with their, when they shut down our country in 2019. That's when when they were singing it on the television like birds of a feather, all in it together. They shut down the world, didn't they? Absolutely they did. Okay, so picking up at verse 10, and this is part 2, but the king said, what does this have to do with you? You sons of Zeruiah, if he is cursing because the Lord said to him, curse David, who can ask, why do you do this? David then said to Abishai, and all his officials, my son, my own flesh and blood is trying to kill me. How much more then this Benjamite? Leave him alone, let him curse, for the Lord has told him to. It may be the Lord's will look upon my misery and restore to me his covenant blessings instead of his curse today. So also remember the Benjamites as one of the tribes of Israel, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, was almost wiped out to 600 men left in their clan. And then they said that there were Israelite women, there were 400 Israelite women that could be available for them, but for the other 200 Israelite men, they didn't have wives. So they put on this dance, and they said that in the middle of this ceremony that was taking place, you guys can come in and take all the women that you choose, a mate for yourself as you choose, which is kind of wishy-washy. Okay, it may be that the Lord will look upon my misery and restore me to his covenant blessings instead of curses today. Do you suppose that David was under a curse because of what he did to Uriah? It's quite possible. I'd like to hear others' interpretation or what they feel, because David was such a beloved servant of the Most High for so long. Now he's lost his kingdom. He's being pelted with insults. His men to the left and right are having rocks thrown at him. And this is all because of what he did by taking that man's wife and putting him out on a battlefield so he could be killed. What's your take? Now, this is the God that forgives. It's Israel's God. So Israel's God gives and Israel's God takes away. Yahweh, Yahweh, these are all names for what they call the God of Israel in the Bible. And sadly, God of Israel in Gematria comes to 666. I don't know what anybody thinks about that, but this Bible is a riddle. So David and his men continued along the road while Shimei was going along the hillside opposite him, cursing as he went and throwing stones at him and showering him with dirt. The king and all the people with him arrived at their destination exhausted, and there he refreshed himself. The advice of Ahithophel and Hushai. Meanwhile, Absalom and all the men of Israel came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel was with him. Then Hushai, the Archite, David's confidant, went to Absalom and said to him, "Long live the king, long live the king." Absalom said to Hushai, "So, this is the love you show your friend? If he's your friend, why didn't you go with him?" Hushai, or Hushai, it could be Hushai, it's probably Hushai, now that I look at it, said to Absalom, "No, the one chosen by the Lord, by these people, and by all the men of Israel, his I will be, and I will remain with him. Furthermore, whom should I serve? Should I not serve the Son? Just as I served your father, so I will serve you." Absalom said to Ahithophel, "Give us your advice. What should we do?" Ahithophel answered, "Sleep with your father's concubines, whom he has left to take care of the palace. Then all Israel will hear that you have made yourself obnoxious to your father, and the hands of everyone with you will be more resolute." So they pitched a tent for Absalom on the roof, and he slept with his father's concubines in the sight of Israel. That doesn't really sound right to me at all. I mean, even if they were just not the king's concubines and they were just women that were left behind to take care of the palace, wouldn't that be considered fornicating? To take somebody else, what's somebody else's? Isn't that coveting something that is somebody else's? So here you have Absalom now, who's kind of engaging in some nefarious behavior. Then all Israel will hear you, and you have made yourself obnoxious to your father, and the hand of everyone with you will be more resolute. So they pitched the tent for the father, and he lay down with all the concubines. Now in those days the advice Ahithophel gave was like that of one who inquires of God. That was how both David and Absalom regarded all of Ahithophel's advice. I'm going to end it there with another 22-minute message. 23, all praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. This is White Raptor News Ministries.